Okay, now before I go over there to show you what I found over there, let's take a look at something. Number one, this is not going to work long term. You don't have any bonding fabric here. You can't just run rubber, heat it, and then just push roofing cement on it. It's supposed to be a base layer of roofing cement, a layer of bonding fabric, and then a final cap layer of roofing cement. Should be anywhere from 3/8 to 5/8 thick. You've got this section that somebody put here to try to stop something that was leaking, but again, you're missing the bonding fabric. This is going to separate over time. This should not run to the edge of the capping. This should have been ran to the edge and then been capped. This is going to separate. Just heat will stick it there for a while, but not forever. Again, you've got this entire run that was done here, and there's no bonding fabric, which means that it's not a 3-layered flashing system. It is heated and pushed, and that will separate. Just like stucco on a city wall will separate if there's no screen mesh behind it. Same thing with roofing cement. So, I wanted to show you a couple things. Over here, they wrapped the wall, so that's great. My guess is this is a 2-for-1. But there's a lot of stuff going on here. Like I can stick my finger in there. There's a lot of places where you're missing a weld entirely. You got a good weld here, but no weld here. The reason why I'm pointing out the welds is because we're going to take a look at something in a minute. There's no weld here. This rubber is just flipped up on there, and this is destroyed from heat. And this is an opening. This is an opening. Rubber can't just be heated and cut, because if I can get my sunglasses in it, and this roof is pitched from there back towards the house, and obviously you can get water in here, you can get water in here. This should be closed with cement. This is destroyed. See this? This was this, but it was heated too much. So basically, you just have the base layer of fiberglass underneath here. Now here's where it's going to get dicey. Back here, where water is bound to sit, you don't have a weld. You don't have a weld there. There's barely enough flashing cement here. You see how you can see the bonding fabric here? It looks like somebody did a base layer and then left. Put this on and then forgot about it. I don't know if it got dark or what. Same thing again over here. Let me show you this in proportion. I can put my sunglasses in there. And this is a cut where the rubber was wrapped over itself, but there's no flashing here. So you've got this, you've got this, you've got this, and it runs all the way across over to here. Also, FYI, there's no weld here. The point of heat welding the overlaps on the rubber is when it's done correctly with a 1/2 inch to a 1 inch bleed, not super torched, not cooked to the point where it's destroyed, like there or there, but the 1/2 inch to 1 inch weld is it makes it all one solid sheet of rubber once it's done correctly. It looks like there's been an issue, which is why this was done. I don't have to explain to you, you don't have to be a roofer to see just putting roofing cement around any kind of perforation and cutting the rubber and pushing it in is always going to separate. You see this? Again, I don't know if you ride bikes or drive a car, but you don't have to be, look, and then you can see the underlayment there. You don't have to be a roofing expert to figure out that holes in roofs are bad. So let's take a look at this. This flashing looks somewhat recent, but look, it's already splitting. It's the same age as this. This is already splitting. And it's going to do the same thing across there. Look, here's a good example as well. There's the sunglasses for... Now here you have bleed, here you don't have bleed. Here you don't have bleed. There's no bleed here on a triple overlap. The way that this is supposed to be done is the rolls are supposed to be rolled out, and then the overlaps are welded with a two-man system of one man using a weighted roller, weighted steel roller, and the other man applying the welding, and then you roll it out, and it provides a consistent bleed like this. They got off on a good start, but then again, ran dry. So I'm going to show you this over here. So this video isn't a half-hour long show. Also, just FYI, these units provide a level of vibration. This pad for the unit should actually be on a pad. Should have, even if you just take rubber, take like 4 pieces of rubber and 6x6 squares and put one there, at least an inch deep, because these vibrate. And if you look, this is why. See this? That's not discoloration. That is where the unit is cutting into the roof because of the vibrations. And it will continue to do so. There's no protective padding. So this sharp plastic platform will literally cut in like it's doing here. You see that? And it'll continue to do that. That's burrowing into the roof because of the vibration. Not to mention the flashing isn't done correctly. Not to mention that you also could use some mortar flex, it's called, to cover this up. An alternative to all these is there is a stucco and masonry sealer. It's like a paint, but don't let anybody... Is this latex? Oh my God, this feels like latex. That's not silicone. Well, that's never going to last. But yeah, so there's no flashing here. This is open here. This is open here. There's no fabric here. And there's no cement underneath here, but certainly this is not a finished product. Well, let me take you up top and show you. Like I said, though, you could also seal this wall, but let me show you what's going on by the... That should have been sealed too, because that's an addition. That's a big deal. See this? Pardon my sound effects. It's wide open. Wow, all the way down, wide open. See the sunglasses? What is that? That's about a 5 or 6 inch. Yeah, wide open. As a matter of fact, I could just do this. I've got sausage fingers, so you get a nice driving rain, wind howling, right in there. Let's go up top. You could seal this wall up, though, like I said, with the stucco sealant. So somebody started off good here. Both. This guy definitely needs some help. Oh, your drain box is shot. You see that? That's not discoloration, those are cracks. If you look at that corner right there, there's a big chunk. It's flashing across this entire back. Is also shot. Look at this split. Jeez, it's longer than my shoe. Now, you already know about this, I'm sure, if somebody's been working. You know that this has got to be flash closed. This needs some rubber. I mean, it's just, it's wide open to the elements. Chimney is cracked. Look at that. Wide open. Wide open, wide open. Really wide open. Let's go over here and take a look at this. Why this wasn't done correctly. Obviously, you probably know about this stack already. You know about the barge board capping here that's missing. So I'm not going to bore you with that. See that this patch is ineffective. They didn't put enough cement underneath there before they put that fabric over there. The wind took this off. This drop tube, look at that, stick my finger in there. This is decimated. What is this? Here's what the front looks like. Yeah, I'm sorry to say this thing needs new rubber. This stuff needed to be replaced 20 years ago. Doesn't need to be torn off though. Structurally, you're okay. But you've got no edge metal cap. It looks like the wind ripped this off because it wasn't anchored correctly. This is an old fabric that's completely dried out, shot and pulled back. But there's no barge board capping here and there's no edge metal, which means that aside with the fact that this roof should have been maintenance 10, 15 years ago before it looked like this, I'm not going to pull on it hard, but look, this whole side is like this. Here, just to give you an example. See this? That's the whole thing because there's no edge metal cap in there. And it doesn't look like there ever was. I don't know what happened there because I don't even see any nail holes where somebody would have driven capping through. Looks like somebody who did some roofing once with their uncle or something tried to do this work. So, yeah, multiple issues. But this way you can see them for yourself. Plain as day. You don't have to be a roofer to figure it out. The condition of this roof, water gets underneath here, runs down, comes straight down the inside wall and drops down. Not to mention that you've got open seams, not to mention that you've got exposed fabric that wasn't even cemented correctly. This patch that somebody put on a long time ago is completely given all the life that it had. So let me send this to you and then we can talk. I don't know if you want to take this one thing at a time, but this way you have a fix on the issues. It's a nice big property, so it should really get some attention to detail because this thing is in need of attention immediately, like yesterday.